Just look at those structures. These are indeed the Grand Canyon of Nepal. Just look all around me. The entire range, even on that side. Morning everyone. So even before I speak, I just want you guys to have a look at what is behind me. So that is Tukuche Peak, and probably the one on the left is Dhaulagiri. So we are at Kalo Pani. We came here from yesterday. We started from Pokhara and we reached here somewhere around 6 in the evening. The roads are like they're non-existent. It was very bad. There are multiple water crossings. One water crossing was, I think, close to 300 or 400 meters. It was tough, the going got tough, but we finally reached here. It's a beautiful stay here. That's where we are staying. They also have a cafe on that side, which I think you guys won't be able to see because of the sun falling down directly. That is the other Annapurna range on that side and this side. I'll take you guys to the room. Just hold on for a second. I'm almost there. Yeah. So that's our room. Obviously, everything is right now not in great shape, but the room is very nice, and you have warm bath here, and you get every facility here. Wi-Fi was not working, but they have Wi-Fi also. Fabulous lighting today morning, and an equally fabulous view of Tukuche range, which is part of the Annapurna range. That's the entire Tukuche peak. We're just leaving from Kalo Pani. So after Kalo Pani, we have a place called Tukuche, which is at 15 kilometers. Then we have Jomson, which I think is at 25 or 30 odd kilometers. Day temperatures are still quite pleasant. Like, I'm not feeling cold. I'm just wearing one thermal inner, and that's about it. And the riding gear, which is a mesh jacket. So that kind of keeping me warm. But night temperatures, as soon as the sun goes down, it becomes very cold, and by 9 and 10 it becomes very cold, and even in the early morning, because we got up at 6 in the morning today and it was very cold. So that is Tukuche one more time. That's Sarath in the middle, and that is Annapurna South on the right.
This section reminds me so much about Harsil. I mean, the stretch after you cross Sukhi Top and you go towards Gangotri, there the Bhagirathi or the Ganga is also equally wide as Kali Gandaki here. The vistas is very similar. You have pine trees, you have the peaks on all the sides, and you have the snaking road which goes by the riverbed. Everything looks so similar. Just the difference is that you have a black top over there and you have a dirt trail here.
Mastang Jilama Yahalai Hardik Swahat Gard 6. We are still riding in Lower Mastang. Upper Mastang starts after Kagbeni. So Kagbeni, you have a checkpost where you have to show your permits, and then you can proceed towards Upper Mastang if you have the requisite permit. Look at this fabulous place, guys. This reminds me of Ladakh and Spiti. Those structures, they look exactly the one while you enter Spiti, Kaza, and also in certain sections of Ladakh. That's the bike. The bike is performing brilliantly. That's the view for you guys. That's the Kali Gandaki river, and you have the other side. Some peaks are still visible from the side. So we go towards Jomsom. I think Jomsom is another 15 odd kilometers. As compared to yesterday, till now the road has been fabulous. Okay, you can say that it's all dirt and bumpy, but yes, as compared to yesterday, this is very simple. And like, we are belting at speeds of 70-75 also in this terrain because of this bike.
The terrain is finally changing, and the green mountains are giving way to the dry barren landscape. I can see on these barren mountains, I can see quite a few caves. I'm not really sure about the significance of these caves, but yes, there are quite a few of them. Guys, you guys can make out there is a completely barren mountain in the far corner, and my excitement is going higher up because I can make out that Upper Mustang is not very far away. My dream destination is just round the corner. I lost my way some time back and I landed up here. Oh, this is really narrow. Okay, I think okay. Oh yeah, fine. Yeah, so as I was telling that I lost my way, I am really not sure how I did lost my way because there was just only one road. So I landed up here and there was a guy who told me to take this trail beside the river and this will join the road sometime ahead. Let's see. I am not really sure where is this going, but this is really nice and interesting to ride just beside the Kali Gandaki river. I think I am finally joining back on the main road. Yes, this does look like the main road. I am still not sure how I lost my way because this is the only road. Anyways, it's good to be back on the road. I haven't seen both my riding partners for quite some time now, so I think they are ahead of me. Let's find them out. I am finally in Jomsom, which is kind of the headquarter of Lower Mustang. This is quite a significantly big town, and this has an airport too. I think the airport will be somewhere ahead, and it has actually regular flights. So many of the tourists actually just land up in Jomsom from flight. They actually finish the trek and then they just land up in the airport and then they fly away or they fly here from Pokhara. I can see that the wind has kind of picked up. So there was actually no wind till an hour back. But we were told that you will get wind once you cross Jomsom and all, and it will be very, very windy once we reach Upper Mustang. So I can already start feeling the same. I think the wind started somewhere around Marfa, which was around 5-6 kilometers back, and it has now really picked up. First day when I have again lost my way. I'm just trying to stay put with the river because I think that will take me to the nearest village. I see some settlement on the far left hand corner. This road is actually quite tricky. I'm not sure whether in the video it is coming or not, but the downhill is very steep, plus the fact that there is a strong crosswinds that is going on, so you have to be very careful while riding down. I guess the village that I am able to see is Kagbeni. So this is indeed Kagbeni, the one you saw some time back. It is becoming increasingly difficult to ride because of the windy condition with the dust flying around, and there are occasions when wind actually kind of throws you away. It's so strong. The checkpost should be somewhere here where we need to show our permits and then we proceed. We wanted to stop a bit in Kagbeni. I don't think that is going to happen right now as we guys are quite late, and we want to enter Upper Mustang as soon as possible, and I want to ride as further as we can today. That's the typical structure in Upper Mustang. One needs to be very careful around the corner as due to strong winds all the gravel accumulates here. First settlement in Upper Mustang after riding for almost 20 kilometers from Kagbeni. Typically you will see these settlements only around the riverbeds. There is also a suspension bridge which makes me feel that there is another village on the other side of the river. great to finally ride at this place. The first time I came to know about Upper Mustang is exactly through a picture of this place. I think it was around 8 years back, and that's when I got interested about Upper Mustang and I started searching about it. And so finally it feels really great that a long cherished dream has finally been fulfilled. Wow, look at that face of that mountain. This is so unique and so fabulous. Never seen, like I have never seen something like this before. Looks like the most iconic bridge of Upper Mustang is just round the corner. I have seen multiple videos of that bridge, and that is like one of the major highlights while you ride in Upper Mustang, and I know that it is somewhere in this place itself. Just look at those structures. These are indeed the Grand Canyon of Nepal. Just look all around me. The entire range, even on that side. I can see a lot of caves, also smaller, bigger caves. And look at there. This place is just fabulous. Just the road is very challenging, but I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving this challenge. What a crazy ride, man. What a crazy ride. Just look at this. Like so many hairpin bends, and exactly on these hairpin bends you have all these loose sands which is like very difficult to grip, and you just crawl around, and you have all these hairpin bends. Like every 200 meter you have one hairpin bend. Just count the number of hairpin bends. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in the vicinity, and there are almost some 20 odds below that. So I think another 1 odd kilometer and we should be able to reach the top. No words to describe this place, honestly. Like I am simply out of the words right now.
That's how the mud is. Smooth, like powder.
was the ride today?
15 kilometers of a climb with first gear, right? Broken road where there is no road. It's sand like powder, the talcum powder that you put inside wherever your body is, or the shoes for that matter. It's that smooth, you know. You do foo and it just flies away.
And then there will be wind which will come and it will like blind, it like completely blinds you. So much dust and so much sand or whatever it is coming, it's like completely blinds you for 2-3 minutes. So it's better that you stop, let it pass, and then you start riding again. Half
I
clutch.
think we made it to that pass. I don't know the name of the pass too. The view from there was brilliant, but then we couldn't stand there for a long time because the crosswinds are so mad. I just got covered in dust in about a minute's time. Waited for him to catch up and then we just took off.
So a bit about this place. So this is where we'll be staying. This is called Samar, 3,587 meter. It is very cold right now. Luckily a bit of greenery and bit of trees, because from the last 30 odd kilometers we haven't seen even a single tree. It's a small settlement and lovely view over there. Those are Annapurna range on the far corner, which we are able to see after a very long time because we have climbed a lot.
Yeah.
So tomorrow we head towards somewhere there. I could not make out where the road is going. So signing off for the moment from Samar.